We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 398. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. Joining us this week is the OG Undisputed Scholar himself and the reigning and defending Scholars of Wrestling World Champion, the one only Scholar Tarek. Scholar Tarek, how is your evening going, sir?
My evening is going very well. I am actually excited for this event. I even made sure I have pretty much one of the legends that defined Extreme with Mick Foley. Turn that off. I am now just all in, no pun intended, for this pay-per-view. I'm actually really looking forward to it.
Also joining us this week, our friend and yours, the one only Scholar Jeremy. Scholar Jeremy, how is your evening going?
Doing well. The coach is back on the channel once again. And like Tarek, I agree. Love the shirt. Looking forward to this pay-per-view. Mick Foley is actually at Comic-Con this week. If anyone is in the New York area, I will be there Saturday and Scholar Jeff will be there Sunday. If you can see us through the face mask, say hi.
We'll be around. Cards will be dropped all over New York Comic Con, and I'm not sure if you caught it, but on Twitter, apparently Mick Foley did encounter Jesse Flower at Comic Con.
Really?
Yeah, the Boulder finally met Toft face to face.
That is epic. I love it.
I'm pretty sure I got it saved on Twitter. I'll send it to you later.
Please
yes,
do. Please,
it's
gonna
be a great
to
week.
see that.
It's gonna be a great weekend of wrestling and entertainment all around.
The only disappointing factor is I forgot my because it's Extreme Rules. I normally have the tradition of bringing in a Mountain Dew to enjoy while doing these predictions, but I forgot.
So you can get even more extreme.
Nope, not tonight apparently.
Now you can only get moderately extreme. What a shame. But yes, this is Extreme Rules weekend. But before we get into tonight's predictions, we do have a little bit of very big news to cover in this week's edition of Backstage News.
Indeed, we shall go ahead, peek behind the curtains because we didn't have a show last week, so we're going to have to peek the curtains for this week and check in on a little
Backstage News.
Echo.
Our move show is off without Brian.
No. Don't worry.
It's not.
No, it's not. I could keep it. I could go for both of us. I mean, I got my tag team partners back.
Of course you do.
Damn right I do.
But anyway, cutting right to the chase, because we weren't able to get a episode to you last week and we didn't get a chance to talk about it, we feel obligated to say a little something now about the recent passing of the legendary Antonio Inoki, a figure largely without peer, not only in the professional wrestling industry, but in all of sports. Jay, do you want to tell us a little bit about the legacy of Antonio Inoki and what he meant to you as a fan personally?
Yeah, he was not one of my idols, but he was one of the guys I watched growing up. He was one of the pioneers where him and Hogan did a lot for wrestling back in the 80s. He was the founder of New Japan Pro Wrestling. He had the legendary match with Muhammad Ali. That was a great one. It was so interesting because I remember I'm like, October 1st, it's Halloween season. I'm hyped. It's my favorite time of the year. And I'm flipping on my phone, looking through like Twitter, and also I'm just like, just of all the people to go, it had to be the late great Antonio Inoki. It was not a tough day, but it was like kind of just right in my heart because he's an inspiration. He has had some interesting ideas. He's done a lot to innovate the pro wrestling in Japan and the MMA in Japan, and it was just a tough day because I'm gonna miss him. He was such an inspiration for so many different wrestlers. It was him, Giant Baba, and I forget who the other two main guys in Japan were. But it's just you lose one of the great legends like him, and it's just a tough day for the wrestling world.
Yeah, he seemed like he was in recent photos. It seemed like he was having some real serious health problems, rather.
Yeah, I looked up what it was. I forgot what it is offhand, but that was, oh, it was not a fun way to go. He was putting a facade up for what it was, and just he kept powering through it like all the great people do.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, if you haven't, I feel like we're quite fortunate to just catch the tail end of what someone of Antonio Inoki's stature really brought to the modern pro wrestling scene. He basically pioneered Japanese strong style as we know it and
Yep.
popularized that style and even spearheaded the entire style in New Japan, which continues to this day. Even all of his, again, his legendary match with Muhammad Ali, the notorious show in North Korea that he spearheaded and was actually
I
able to get a reaction out of this overly stoic North Korean crowd. It really
thank
just
you.
seemed like, yeah, Antonio Inoki is going to be one of those figures there. There's never going to be another one, and there's never anyone like him, and there never will be another person like him in wrestling again.
Thank you for saying that, Jeff, because I did forget that the legendary Korean show. Yeah, you were right. I knew I forgot something.
Yeah, I always felt that I think we've all heard it where if someone asks you, okay, who's on your Mount Rushmore of wrestling? I always had two answers to that, depending on whether it's the WWE Mount Rushmore, the American Wrestling Mount Rushmore, or all of wrestling around the world, period. If we're talking about all wrestling around the world, period, Antonio Inoki is absolutely a forerunner. When it comes to Japanese pro wrestling, the one name that comes to mind first and foremost is Antonio Inoki when it comes to Japanese wrestling.
Well said. Well said.
Tarek, I know you don't follow New Japan as much as Jeremy or I do, but I know you've heard of Antonio Inoki's legacy. So I feel like you're a good person to get your thoughts on this. When it comes to the modern professional wrestling landscape, what would you say is the legacy of someone of Antonio Inoki's stature when it comes to the modern pro wrestling scene?
Really, like all I once I heard of his passing, I actually looked more into it because, like you said, Fool, I didn't follow New Japan that much. It's really just more recently, actually more when we actually just started doing Scholars of Wrestling. I started following it a little more, just still not as much as most. But looking into what he's accomplished, just not only for professional wrestling but for his country, because I know he was in politics as well. He is someone that just definitely left this lasting legacy for all Japan, all of pro wrestling. He really has made that landscape mark, and in a way, I would say I think he accomplished more for pro wrestling than Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon brought it to like the mainstream audience for the people in the States. But for what he did with New Japan all around the world, I actually think he made a bigger landscape. He made a bigger mark in the history of pro wrestling. And yeah, there won't be anyone like him. And it just made me wish I actually looked into New Japan sooner just to see what he did for like with his company, just how it impacted, how much he actually gave it that more sports feel, that like what AEW is trying to do here in the States, and just really yeah, left that mark. And it actually is a real tragic loss. And again, I wish I knew more about him while he was still alive. I hate that I had to look more into it after his passing.
Yeah, it's a real tragedy, but then again, with this and the echo of his passing reverberating throughout every fandom on every continent, I feel like this is definitely one of those events where a lot more people are going to hear about Antonio Inoki, and they're going to learn about how influential he truly was. So, to Miss Inoki-san and his family and everyone else, we will miss you. And until we see you again, arigato. But until that day, we've got to get a little extreme ourselves. It's time now to make our predictions for WWE Extreme Rules 2022, kicking things off with a 6-man tag match, an good old-fashioned Donnybrook match, if you will. We've got the Brawling Brutes versus the newly reformed Imperium. Tarek, champ, it's your pick first. Who you got for this one?
Hold on one second. What is a Donnybrook match? Because I looked it up and I didn't get time to look up what the stipulation was.
Good question. I think it's just like a brawl, a 6 tornado tag, I guess.
Essentially it's a tornado tag with Europe. It's a European theme.
Okay, I figured I'd ask. I wasn't sure, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I am not Irish. Tarek, you are not Irish, but I don't know. What's your prediction?
I'm half Irish, man.
Yeah, I looked up, like, did one of those like 23andMe things. I think I'm like 5% Irish and like 11% Scot.
Mm-hmm.
Just barely counts, but go ahead.
It's actually funny because of all the matches, this one is the hardest one for me. And it really just stems on who wins the Intercontinental Championship tomorrow on SmackDown tonight. We're at tomorrow at the time of this recording. Who wins that Intercontinental Championship match? I'm gonna go with the Brawling Brutes. This one's just more of just who do I think could actually benefit the win, and I think Imperium has made their mark and I actually think Walter is going to successfully defend the Intercontinental Championship tomorrow. So Sheamus will get his win back at Extreme Rules with his mates. Pete Dunne, Butch, whatever they call. Are they still calling him Butch?
I think technically they're still calling him Butch, but it looks like
and Ridge Holland, yeah,
a reverting back to he's not going to be Butch anymore. He's going to go back to.
I think they're making it like
I feel like they're getting pretty close.
I think they're making it that Butch is the freaking, and like Seth freaking Rollins, Pete Butch Dunne. I think that's what they're going for, or at least right now.
I certainly hope so. That would make a lot more sense. But as much as I want to see that happen, I don't think it's going to happen on Saturday. My guts, what your logic makes sense, Tarek. But right now, I feel like Imperium needs just a little bit more, and I think they're going to get it on Saturday. I'm going to go with Imperium to win. And with that, we're coming down to you, Jeremy. Who do you got?
Because Walter won at Clash of the Castle, I'm going to go with the Brawling Brutes. Go with my Irish boys because Sheamus lost to that one, so I think he needs a win back on this one. So let's go with the Irish guys. In a Donnybrook match, come on, let's go.
All right. Next up, we've got the I Quit match, Edge versus Finn Balor.
Oh, I just realized. Before we move on to the prediction, I have to make a little announcement when it comes to Goldie over here.
You don't say what's going on with the title.
At some point, Scholar Jeremy came up to me and was like, you know what? He's like, you know what, Tarek? I think we deserve to have a title match, just you and me. Just go ahead. I think I deserve a one-on-one title shot against you. No one else, just you and me. I thought about it. I was just like, you know what? You never really had the a good title reign at all. Sadly, I'm sorry. I feel like you deserve to have your one-on-one title shot. So I'm going to have you, Jeremy, earn your title shot. And if you have a better score than me for Extreme Rules, you will get your title shot at the next pay-per-view.
All right, let's do it. Let's just hope we don't end up with the same picks.
But I have a feeling we might differ on at least one.
Okay,
I have a feeling.
See. We'll see, but I accept the challenge. Thank you, thank you, Scholar Targ. I appreciate that. Because I was in within range at All Out, and I choked at the end, but I'm getting closer. So one of these days, I'll get it.
Will that day be today, or at least on the road there? Well, we'll have to see. And our next match is going to take us there. We've got Edge versus Finn Balor in the I Quit match. It's my pick up next. So for this one, I'm going to believe the dirt sheet reports that say that Finn Balor has something big coming his way. So I'm going to go with Finn Balor to win the I Quit match. Jay, what do you got?
I normally bet against Edge, but I'm going to go with Edge because anytime I go against him, I get screwed. So I'm going to go stick with Edge on this one.
Okay. And Fool, it's back to you. Who do you got?
Funny enough, this was the one match that I knew we were going to differ on. I'm also going to go with Finn Balor. Okay. And how I look at it, with the dirt sheets aside, Finn Balor needs this win a lot more than Edge needs it. And I think, the dirt sheets of him getting this nice big push, I think it cements. I think this is like that starting point. And the way I look at it is, I don't think they're gonna have Edge submit, have him say I quit because they beat him down so hard that he's like, oh, I can't take anymore, I quit. I think they're gonna basically give him an ultimatum to quit. Like, you have Rhea Ripley and Dominic come out with Beth Phoenix, basically force him to quit to protect his wife. And that's how I'm going at it. I don't think they're gonna beat him into a submission because it's the only way to actually get a good win for Finn Balor. Even though he had a very dominant win this past week against in the tag match with him and Damian Priest versus AJ Styles and who did Styles with Mysterio. So this is the start of something big for Finn Balor, and I think finally ending this feud with Edge is the right direction. I think this will be their match to end this feud. Finally.
All right, it's in the books. Next match we've got for the Raw Women's Championship, we've got Bianca Belair versus Bayley in a ladder match. Very interesting stipulation. And Jeremy, it's your pick up first. Who do you got between Bianca or Bayley?
Dang it. I knew. I don't always get the tough matches.
Because you're a tough guy.
Exactly. I'm going to throw the wild card. I'm going to say Bayley's going to finally take that title off of Bianca Belair.
All right, Tarek, who do you got for this one?
I'm going to go with Bianca Belair. I just, I'm honestly getting a little tired of, we have a stable. Let's give the stable all the gold. I'm not like, they have it with the Bloodline. They did it with Toxic Attraction on NXT. At one point did it with the Hurt Business.
They did it with Undisputed Era.
They did it with Undisputed Era. They almost did it with Blackpool Combat Club. I'm kind of done with just, we have a stable, let's give the stable all the titles. And I think Bianca Belair has a better path as women's champion than Bayley does, at least for right now.
Interesting. I feel like I was going to go for Bayley, but now your comments made me think that okay, maybe Bianca could take it because they don't want to have another faction that has all the gold for their division. Now I'm wondering, okay, are they going to turn back now? Or are they going to switch it up on us now? Or are they going to break that tradition at another show? I'm going to have to follow my gut on this one. I'm going to go with Bianca just because I feel like if enough people are catching on to this trend, I feel like they're in on the Bianca train long enough that she's a nice, easy way to take this if they do want to stop themselves from taking all the gold for a single faction. So I'm going to go with Bianca to win.
Plus, there's also a rumor going around that when Charlotte comes back, she wants to have a thing with Bianca Belair.
Okay, there it is. Hey, we'll see if it goes our way.
Honestly, it's not a confirmed thing. It's just a rumor. It's not like it's nothing confirmed, but Charlotte has said that she wants to work with Bianca Belair. And it may be different now with Triple H under like taking control of everything, but you don't know. Charlotte could just be like, okay, I'll just show up. I'll be put in a title match. I could be the strong one, and I like Vince isn't here to basically stroke my ego to the point where I'm just looking down on everyone. I can actually put someone over. Yes, I know it's Charlotte. That's crazy talk, but hey, you never know.
Indeed. That brings us to our next match. We've got Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a strap match. Tarek, it's your pick up next. Who do you got?
I'm going to go with Karrion Kross to win this one. This is his first match since coming back. And Drew is, as much as I love Drew with all my heart. Not as much as Claudio, but he's close. He can afford to lose. He's been booked so strong that he could take this loss to put Kross over, because this is the match that's solidifying Karrion Kross as a main roster guy, not a main roster, a main event player.
Yeah, absolutely. As much as part of me wants to like look down on this match due to its apparent predictability, at the same time, I also want to see Kross succeed, and this is a fine platform to show him off. So
maybe they'll land an actual good fireball.
Hey, one can only dream.
Because I don't even know what happened last week. Just like, oh,
someone's not a wizard.
My face is right here. My face is, yeah, someone's not a wizard. Exactly.
Throw a fireball in your face.
Hey, fire. But yes, Jay, it looks like we just might have a accord here. Do we, Jaybird, or not?
Myself being a Karrion Kross fan, damn straight we got an accord. Go get that win, baby. After what Vince put him through on the main roster, I was like, I wrote WWE off, and then when he showed up, I was like, oh shit. I'm like, okay, he looks good. He's rocking his style. He didn't have to change anything, so he's been doing great. So I'm all hyped for Karrion coming back. So give him the first big pay-per-view win.
Bring the killer in with this Karrion Kross character.
Absolutely. I'm all in.
Yeah.
And speaking of all in, we've got our next match, which is the Fight Pit match between Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins, with Daniel Cormier, of all people, as the referee. My pick up first, and yeah, this looks like a Riddle victory all the way. Again, it's not very unpredictable, but hey, it seems to be the outcome that most people are going to want to see, myself included. So I'm going to go with Riddle. Jay, it's your pick up next. Who you got between Seth freaking Rollins and Matt Riddle?
We're going to go 2 for 2. I'm going to go with Riddle as well.
Okay. And that brings you to you, Tarek. Do we have an accord? Are we all in on Riddle?
We are all in on Riddle. I actually think this may close the show.
Interesting.
Some people online have been making claims that Triple H has been wanting to make the Fight Pit his next Hell in a Cell-esque match that like is the match to end feuds. And this first one on the main roster of Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins, it's going to be amazing. And yeah, I'm going to pick Matt Riddle to win. Rollins has been basically owning this entire feud, and I think this is going to be this is going to be their blow off where Riddle finally gets a win. Plus, and similar to how I was thinking of the Intercontinental Championship match, Rollins is just going to make up this loss by winning the United States title against Bobby Lashley on Monday. So he can afford this loss.
Hey, that's fair. I dig it. That will bring us to our last end of the currently announced matches. We've got, for the SmackDown Women's Championship, we've got Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey in an Extreme Rules match. Jeremy, it's your final pick of the evening. Who do you got for this one?
She squeaked out Ronda Rousey. She squeaked out Shayna Baszler. I'm going to say 3 times the charm. I'm going to go with Liv Morgan to win this match.
Okay. And Tarek, who do you got between Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey?
This one was actually my second hardest match to decide because I really love Liv Morgan. This title reign hasn't exactly been the best ever since she won it. I mean, ever since she had that match with Ronda at SummerSlam, it just really tarnished this title reign, and they've been trying so desperately to bring it back. And as much as I want Liv to win, I think they're going to give it to Ronda Rousey. One, because they've been working their damnedest to make Rousey, dare I say, Stone Cold level over. Because she was getting those types of reactions when she was here with that storyline with what is his name? Adam Pearce.
There you go.
With the getting arrested to getting suspended, and her just showing up and just beating everyone up, and the crowd is just eating it up. She's now I think she's reaching that point where she's not a face, she's not a heel, she just does whatever the hell she wants. And that's getting very positive reactions from the crowd. And Liv has lost that momentum ever since losing since that match with Rousey at SummerSlam. I think this one she'll at least earn Ronda's respect. But yeah, I think Liv is going to end up losing this one. What else was I going to say? Yeah, and also with their next pay-per-view being Crown Jewel, I think they're going to want a mainstream name to be one of the headlining factors in that event.
I gotta say, Tarek, you do make a very strong case for Ronda Rousey. And you could go that way. I wouldn't say no, but something about this is still inclining me to go with Liv on this one.
She's a Jersey girl. It's perfect. It's
not just that. Not in all seriousness, not just that. Because this is an Extreme Rules match, it's very clearly portrayed that Liv Morgan cannot really hang with Ronda Rousey in a straight fight. Very few people on earth can. So I feel like introducing the Extreme Rules stipulation and bringing in all the crazy weapons that can come in play, I feel like that is meant to be the equalizer and meant to sort of reboot Liv and put her on at least somewhere on the main event plane. Ronda Rousey kind of strikes me as being Teflon. She can take a loss. It's just a matter of how you make that loss convincing. How do you sell the loss? And I feel like that putting them in a Extreme Rules match that can serve as that equalizer beyond just a pure striking or submission area, I feel like that's being done intentionally to give Liv the win on Saturday. With all that being said,
I would be happy with either.
Yeah, absolutely. Both are absolutely deserving of being champion, especially depending on how they pull it off. But before we say farewell this evening, there is the other little question of the White Rabbit situation. A lot of things seem to be leading up to Extreme Rules. The hints are pointing in a specific direction. Lay it out for me. Is this going to be the reveal of the whole White Rabbit situation? And is it indeed going to be Bray Wyatt?
Who's going first with this one?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll go first. It's going to be Bray. Honestly, if we're talking about when and where, I think it's going to be during the Raw Women's Championship match. I think that's going to close the show. The ladder match is going to happen as it is, and because of Alexa Bliss's involvement in that match, that is going to be the time when the White Rabbit feels himself to be Bray Wyatt. Jay?
I could see that. If it's not Bray Wyatt, then they're stupid. But if the White Rabbit doesn't show up at Extreme Rules, he'll definitely show up at Survivor Series. That's my theory. If you're gonna ask me if he was to show up at Extreme Rules, I'd say have him come in like after Karrion Kross wins. Literally, Karrion Kross gets the big win, and all of a sudden, there you go, White Rabbit reveal.
And Tarek, what's happening with the White Rabbit?
It also is depending on what show they want to put him on. Because both of you were just like, yeah, he's gonna do something with Alexa Bliss, Raw. Jeremy, he's gonna do something with Karrion Kross, SmackDown.
There you go.
It is really a toss of the coin with this one. One, yes, I do think it's Bray Wyatt. Anyone else, it's just gonna have a negative response. I like what they're doing with the QR codes. Apparently, that's from the new writer that they acquired from Marvel. That was a Marvel writer. I forgot his name.
I'm blanking on his name too. Don't worry about it.
But like, apparently, the QR codes thing is his idea. So that's actually that's no pun intended, very creative. If they're going to show something at Extreme Rules, they'll probably do a video package. Something similar to when they finally revealed the Firefly Funhouse. I don't think he's going to make a physical appearance. Though, if anything, like what Jeremy said, his physical appearance will probably be at Survivor Series, the final pay-per-view of the WWE year.
Agreed.
But yeah, if anything, they'll probably do some video package, even though the crowd would love to see something in person.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, with that, those are our predictions for WWE Extreme Rules 2022. Now we're turning it over to you, our fellow fans. What do you think is going to go down at Extreme Rules? Who's going to win? And will the White Rabbit finally reveal himself? We want to hear from you. So, hey, one can only dream. So we want to hear from you all across the internet, YouTube comments, Facebook posts, yes, even Twitter postings. We want to hear from you wherever you are. So why don't you track us down? Where can they reach you online?
You can reach me wishing Scholar Jeremy a good luck with his predictions at the Avataric.
And Jay, where can I reach you?
You can reach me at HeroHuey316, and if you see me at Comic-Con, just feel free to say hi.
And you can join in the conversation with me at I'm Robbie Rage. You can also check out all of these links, social and more and above, at our link tree in the description below. That's linktree/Scholars of Wrestling. But I think you probably already knew that because you already know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
See you all for a very extreme Saturday. Extreme!